Teddy covers WagerTalk.com with a big game breakdown. We're going to talk the only game that starts at 1 o'clock Eastern for the entire preseason on a Sunday. That would be the Saints and the Jaguars national TV action. And just a little bit of trivia. Do you know why games start at 1 o'clock Eastern time on Sundays? Well, Wellington Mara, Art Rooney, the original owners from back in the 1920s, well, they were both involved in the gambling business. And the quote was, well, the tracks are closed on Sunday. People need something to bet after they get out of church. And that's why we have NFL games 1 o'clock on Sundays, like the Saints and the Jaguars. That's a true story. I'm not making that up. Right now, looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen, Jags -3 pretty much across the board. Total sitting 40.5 between the Jags and Saints. And like I said, the only game to start at 1 o'clock Eastern until week 1 of the regular season. We've seen a little bit of money come for Jacksonville, and I can understand why. New Orleans looked pretty rough last week. New Orleans looked pretty rough this week. New Orleans has all the makings of, the worst team in the league, or one of the worst teams in the league. And normally in preseason, we like teams with quarterback battles. And the Saints clearly have a QB battle for the number one job. We don't know. And at this stage, it's pretty clear that Jake Hayner's not going to win the starting job. I think Hayner's going to play in the second half here, which may be a bet on for the Saints, although he wasn't very good last week. But Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck are battling for the starting job in New Orleans right now with a first-time head coach in Kellen Moore, who's 0-1 straight up and against the spread in August. And neither Rattler nor Shuck has the look of a guy who's going to be successful as an NFL starting quarterback. They certainly didn't last week in limited action. So I can understand that the Saints are not an attractive team in the market. I can understand why the money's coming against them. A lot of money came in on Jacksonville last week. The Jags took heavy money against Pittsburgh, -1 up to -6. And the quarterback rotations for Jacksonville, they have veterans. We're talking about Trevor Lawrence, Nick Mullins, John Wolford, all of whom have had starting experience in the league. Wolford's been a good preseason QB. Mullins is the guy you like to have on the field in August. We saw Seth Hennigan from Memphis last week. And one drive, he had a field goal. He was chucking into the end zone at the end of the game when the clock ran out. So from a QB rotation standpoint, Jacksonville certainly has the better duo. The question here is urgency for the Jags. Obviously, first-time head coach and Liam Cohen. And I got this quote coming out of practice on Thursday. And a lot of times when teams practice well during the week, the edge is off for the game in the preseason. That was not the case for Jacksonville this week. They had, the quote was, they had 7 drop passes. The team committed 10 penalties overall. Trevor Lawrence called the practice a little sloppy. Offensive coordinator Grant Udinsky, quote, "It's good work. Good to get work and a lot to improve. I think the guys know that. I'm excited to dig in the tape and see what we can work on." Now, they were working first-team offenses against the first-team defenses and second teams against second teams in full field, full quarter situations. And sometimes when that happens on Thursday, you don't necessarily get the full offensive showing or defensive showing for these squads. But Jacksonville's favored here for a reason. All right. I could only look at the Jaguars minus the points. New Orleans is a team I think is worthy of fading. You find the worst teams in the league and you fade them again and again until the markets catch up. And the Saints have that potential. I worry a little bit about Jake Hayner. And if you're worried about Jake Hayner coming in the second half and having success, maybe you look at the over in this game. Certainly not hard to make a case for overs in the NFL preseason right now. But my preferred play here is side. I'd rather have the Jags than the Saints. I'd rather have the over than the under. And hopefully this helps with your betting opinions for Sunday. Thank you so much for watching Wager Talk TV. Stay tuned right here on this channel for more free pick videos, tons of free content. If you haven't done so already, subscribe. More than 210,000 of you have already done so on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. We appreciate the likes very, very much. If you like this type of content, hit that like button. Thank you. And of course, the comments below, agree or disagree. It's okay to disagree with me. That being said, I won't get mad at you. Comments, likes, and follows. Very much appreciated. Visit my page, wt.buzz/TC, or just visit the website, WagerTalk.com. Best of luck with all your bets on Sunday in preseason football and everything else. Cheers.